you are either willfully ignorant, uneducated, or complicit in racism. Let me make this super simple for you. There are actual people in this actual world who actually need refuge. There are actually people who are starving, impoverished, going through fandoms, going through civil warfare, going through guerrilla warfare. And let me tell you something. The 59 white, well-kept refugees from South Africa are not part of that. I don't care what your little post says. I don't care what your little comment says. Trump signed an executive order that they are no longer allowing refugees into this country. The refugee admissions program is currently suspended. So when he makes an exception for white only South African refugees, you can no longer claim that it is about the B law. It's as simple as this. There are actually people in this world who need refuge. There are actually people, there are children as we speak, starving to death. So no, when the 200 to 250 plus pound white men and women with smiles on their faces land in this country as refugees, and you tell me, but they might start suffering in the next 5 years, I don't want to hear it. This is plainly and simply about the fact that white people wanted to come to America who support Trump. That's it.
If you're wondering where all these South Africans are gonna go, don't worry. They already had a plan in place, and it was called Acre Trader. That's right. They already took the farmland from farmers who were failing. As a matter of fact, they have about 40,000 acres of farmland that they took from American farmers because they wouldn't give them subsidies. Acre Trader is an American real estate investment company that specializes in farmland. It says here that the company aims to increase investor access to real estate assets and provides capitals to farmers and growers to expand their business. But what they failed to leave out here is that the first investor into Acre Trader was none other than J.D. Vance. You know J.D. Vance, the one who was in charge of the White House with the president who is cutting all the subsidies to the farmers? Yeah, that J.D. Vance. And what they also failed to mention is the fact that the people who were investing, yeah, they were South Africaners. And guess who just came to America to go on these farms? That's right, you guessed it. Are you sick of it yet? Are you sick of it yet? $880 billion being pulled from Medicaid so they can fund tax money going to the rich. Your farmland being taken away from American farmers and being given to South African refugees. People being human trafficked all over the United States and outside of this country for financial gain. Minimum wage of $7.25 hasn't been raised since 2009. You can't afford healthcare. You can't afford your car insurance. You're probably not going to be able to buy a home anytime soon, and grocery prices are through the roof. And guess who's gonna own your food now? The People's Sick Day is coming. It's gonna be a 1 to 3 day collection of people who are going to take back their power by setting down. No more showing up for work when you're making peanuts and they're giving away your farmland to foreigners. You better join us, because unless we stand up, none of us are going to win this fight.
Today we are diving into a controversy that is not being talked about enough. Why are some white Americans unhappy about white South African refugees coming to the United States? It sounds strange on the surface, white immigrants rejected by white Americans, but the truth goes much deeper. Let's talk about it.
So I have a question. I work with the homeless population, and I know for a fact that we still have plenty of veterans who are homeless, and also U.S. citizens that are homeless. So I wonder how it makes you feel knowing that instead of getting services for the vets and for the U.S. citizens, that this administration has now welcomed white South Africans. And they're going to get all kinds of help from the government. And I want to know, for those who are cheering the horrific deportation or kidnapping, because really that's all it is kidnapping, because there's no court orders and these people are just grabbing people off the street. They're not identifying themselves. It's horrific. So that's my question. What does everybody think about the fact that now our government is bringing refugees from South Africa? And he said something along the lines of they have a rich, long history of all that they've done, and now the way that they're being treated is horrific. So I want to know, the American farmers here that have lost their farms, are those going to these refugees? Are they going to give those farms to the refugees? The people who lost their family farms. So that's my question. What do we think?
Farmers for Trump. Farmers for Trump. Y'all might want to get in here. I know you're going to want to get in here for this one. And have a seat while you're at it. Because when I finish telling you what I just learned, your knees going to buckle. Okay. One of the first things the Trump administration did when they got into office was they went against all those deals that the government, that Biden administration made with y'all, with the farmers, right? They reneged on contracts. They didn't bring in the last payment they were supposed to bring in. A lot of y'all are losing y'all farms because of that, right? Because they reneged. There's this company called Acre Trader. I've mentioned this company before. This company, one of the first investors was a guy named J.D. Vance. Yes, the vice president y'all voted into office. J.D. Vance was one of the first investors. Guess who were investing along with J.D. Vance? South Africans. You get where I'm going? South Africans were investors. Many of them. So now fast forward to today. You guys are losing your land. Right? Trump just brought and is still bringing over thousands of South Africans. You get where I'm going? He's bringing in thousands of South Africans. Where you think those South Africans gonna end up? Where you think they're going? Acre Trader has confiscated, or you can say purchased, whatever. I think they say it's about over 40,000 acres. The farmers that have already lost your land, I want y'all to do yourself a favor. Drive by. Give it a little minute, but drive by and see who the new owners of your farms are. Gotcha. They got y'all. They got y'all damn good. Do you see this was a plan? Do you see it was a plan? Now y'all see it. They played y'all the entire time. They've been playing y'all they've been playing y'all before November 4th. They knew what they were going to do when they got in there. All they needed y'all to do was fall for that old okie dokie again. You know that okie dokie that y'all never learned from. Where the wealthy white people use your hatred against black people and tell you that you are better than the most intelligent, most educated black man, while they constantly picking y'all pockets. Well, now they done picked your land up under you. Y'all keep thinking that these rich white people are on y'all side. What you don't understand is the rich white people see y'all the same as they see us. You ain't got money. You're no use to them. You're pawns. They like to move y'all around the board. But on their level, never. In their circle, never. How many of y'all been out to Mar-a-Lago? Farmers. MAGA. How many times y'all been down to Mar-a-Lago? How many times has he actually invited you in his home, in his surroundings? I know how many times he done offered to a price tag for y'all to come see him. But how many times has he ever opened his doors to where he is, you guys would never be in that circle. J.D. Vance was in this company, a part invested in this company before he even became vice president. Think about that. Now we got all these South Africans coming over here. And if they just so happens to want to wind up on your land that you lost because they reneged on those contracts, y'all got played. Y'all got faked completely out of your acres. They played y'all to the freaking hilt because you refused to learn this age-old lesson. The rich white man ain't your friend. You are his tool that he uses. That's it. And y'all never learn. Because they know one thing they can pull on y'all. They know that one thing they can dig at that's gonna be always. It's gonna always be paid. It's gonna be pay dirt. Always. And that's that hatred for black people. They know all they gotta do is hammer on that, and they can pick y'all pockets clean. Well, now they done pick y'all out of thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land. Because you refuse to learn. Hatred never wins. You are so filled with hatred. You're so consumed by it. Nothing means more to you. That is costing you everything you have. And some of y'all, some generational farms are lost, gone. Because y'all just have to have that hatred more than y'all need air. It's sad. But it's funny too. Because, you know, they say a fool and his money will soon part. Well, it looks like that's so damn true. Y'all refuse to learn. And they keep getting y'all. All these South Africans coming over here. They gonna cut all people, all you MAGA Trump voters here that's been on SNAP benefits, that's had Medicaid, that depends on your Social Security checks, and the veteran benefits. All of that is being taken away from you and gift wrapped to these South Africans that's coming. Yeah, they getting the full benefits of everything. They're gonna get housing assistance. They're gonna get Social Security. They're gonna get free phones. They're gonna get SNAP. Everything they cutting from you, they giving to them. They prefer them over y'all. Y'all were just useful tools. That was it. Donald Trump even told y'all at them rallies, I don't care about y'all, I just want your vote. But y'all looked at him as a comedian instead of a politician. What you should have been doing was using him as your source of entertainment. Y'all should have been going to his shows. But putting your livelihood in his hands, that was the biggest mistake y'all ever made. And the second biggest mistake is not learning from the first one. So, for those of y'all who've lost y'all land, all them Nebraska farmers and all those Iowa farmers and all y'all who went, bum rushed that damn poll and voted for Trump and J.D. Vance, they got y'all. They got y'all. Oh, they played y'all real pretty. When I say they used y'all weakness against you, and who better to know your weakness than your own? So think about it like that. While y'all busy hating us, while y'all busy detesting us, while y'all busy dreaming about unaliving us and watch us bleed and watch us hang, while y'all doing that, you really should be looking at them with that type of hatred, because we can't take from you what they taking from y'all. Even y'all hatred directed at the wrong group. You love your enemy. You are in love with the rich white man. And the rich white man is your enemy. You'll never be on their level. Never. Not in their eyesight. And as you can see, they know they can play y'all like a fiddle. J.D. Vance is paid. The South Africans have a way paid for them to come into acres and acres of land. They used to be held by Americans. So what are y'all gonna do when they start deporting y'all off? So you never thought it was gonna come to your doorstep, did you? Oh, it's on its way. It's on its way. You didn't vote just for our demise. You didn't know it, but you were voting for your own. And it's here. Go in and look at it. Go research it. Look into it. See when J.D. Vance, how much of a part of Acre Trader, J.D. Vance is. And then look and see how many South African investors there are. And then I want you to come back and tell me with one big old smile on your face, is it great again yet? I don't know.
Afrikaners that are leaving for America are broke. They don't have money, these guys. So you don't need to worry that, oh, we're losing voices that keep private schools open, having great private hospitals. Those are not the Afrikaners that are leaving. These are Afrikaners that are unemployed, and they believe that BE has caused them to be unemployed, and that now, essentially, all the different policies that have been put in place prioritizes black people more and has now left them behind. That those are the people that are leaving the country. Going to another country to be a refugee is crazy business. It's wild. Like, do you understand that you are saying that you are equivalent to an individual that is coming from a war-stricken country? That's essentially what you're saying. So that means that you are saying that things were so bad in your current country that you didn't have access to water, you didn't have access to food, you didn't have access to housing. That's essentially what you're saying. And it's possible that it was happening to some of these white Afrikaners. But my goodness, dog, like, yeah, it takes a lot of humility. I didn't know that Afrikaners had such humility. I've actually been impressed that some of these Afrikaners are humble enough to want to become refugees. Imagine, want to become refugees where they're going to be given the absolute bare minimum. You should check on TikTok. There are videos of people showing the places where they're staying, where before they're actually dispersed into the different areas that they're going to be relocated. It really is the bare minimum. So yeah, it's no one who is coming from a nice poshy lifestyle with all the farms and all of that is gonna be leaving to go to America. It's really just gonna be poor Afrikaners. I'll be very surprised if there are any rich Afrikaners. Please come into the comment section and say, listen, I'm a rich Afrikaner and I am actually going to be leaving. I'll be very surprised if they're there. But yeah, to the poor Afrikaners, no, if you guys are suffering that much, yeah, you've got my full support. I mean, maybe you guys don't care about my support, but I am telling you that I personally am fully in support of you guys seeking a better life in America as a refugee.
This South African farmer bullshit, which is the most blatantly obvious racist shit ever. It is blatantly obvious the way that we treat white South Africans, who, by the way, for the most part, and I am generalizing here, some of the wealthiest people are well-to-do people in the country. They speak their language. They own most of the land and the property. And somehow they're being granted a fast track to become Americans while they're trying to cut down on immigration from other countries. You get that from where? From the brown people. On March 7th, Trump took to Truth Social to announce he is offering white South African farmers, quote, a rapid pathway to U.S. citizenship, pointing out that South Africa's new land reform push signed into law last year, which lets the government take land without compensation if the property is not being used and there's no intention to either develop or make money from it. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you some context here. They're not just taking land away from white South African farmers. White South Africans, about 9% of the population, owned 87% of the fertile land. Okay? Today, black South Africans make up more than 90% of the population, and they only hold about 4% of all privately owned land. So what they're trying to do is say, hey, we need to fix an historical injustice and figure out if you're not using that land to farm, then we need to have some of that land, not taking all of your entire farm. That's not what's happening. And we need to what? There needs to be equity. And now people are crying because the playing field is being leveled. And so therefore it is now discrimination.
I tell you, this comic got me dying. First of all, I'm not no Einstein, but if you are, running from genocide, you're a farmer, I'm thinking you should be a lot slimmer and more tan, I'm not saying you're gonna look like, my complexion, because it's black, but you should have like a little red undertone, because these people, they look so healthy, their skin's all whitish glowing, if that's even a word. They don't look like they've been in any farms. It's not giving farmers, it's not giving that. It's looking a little bit too hefty, too well fed to be experiencing famine. As you said, on genocide, it's not giving that. It's not giving that you've been working in a farm. I mean, maybe somebody else can tell me, because we don't have a lot of farm. Just so y'all know, we don't have a lot of. Listen, I'm in the South. I'm not around a lot of farms in the States, okay? So, yeah, it's definitely not giving farm.
Y'all, don't worry about these white South Africans coming here. They about to be the new help. You heard me. They are about to be the new help. They got rid of all the people tending the land. All the immigrants that were tending the land are gone. So what they about to do, replace them with the white South African workers. Y'all gonna be working to feed black folks. As y'all should. Get y'all asses over here and do y'all goddamn job. Y'all think y'all getting away from us. Y'all not. Y'all just gonna be working for us. Come on in the room. See, Trump knew he couldn't get our asses out there. There's no way in hell you gonna get black folks out there to work no kind of land. He could say, hey, these South Africans are being suppressed. Their land is being taken away from them. They need to come over here and seek retribution. And get y'all asses in the field where the fuck y'all belong. Make sure y'all picking every fucking vegetable and don't miss out on anything. Y'all not getting away from black folks. Y'all gonna be around us a lot more. And unlike the ones in South Africa, we don't give a fuck. You're not gonna be able to call us colored. You're gonna get your dome rocked. So be careful, tread lightly. And remember, we don't see you as African. We see you as colonizers of an apartheid. Welcome to America.
All right, rant of the day. These South Africaners that are coming in, I think 49 came in the other day. They are part of the little apartheid movement that collapsed in 1994. There's no targeted killing. There's no targeted genocide. South African government has strictly denied it. They are strictly saying, you're going off misinformation. You're going off of information from Elon. You're going off of information that is racist. Like, it's racist. The fact that you are terrorizing people in this country now that have lived here their whole life, that story about that 19-year-old that made a wrong turn, it's truly disgusting. All the while you're trying to end habeas corpus, end due process, all this shit. Fuck this administration. Fuck this racist bullshit. It is unfathomable that they're bringing in fucking white racists now. We are importing racism. We already have enough.
Those rich white South African immigrants are going to get the same grace that MAGA gives the current immigrants in this country that are being deported. Get the fuck out of our country. We don't want you here. Go back to where you came from. Because they are stealing our money. They're not working. They're going to sit around on their lazy white asses. And Trump is offering up our federal dollars to pay for their existence for the next year, and I don't know how much longer. And they're not working. So they're not contributing to our society or our way of life or our health or anything like that. They're just taking our money. I mean, we had immigrants, hardworking immigrants, that contributed and worked $100 billion every year in federal taxes, and just their hard work and dedication to the building of this beautiful country. Now we got some lazy white South African rich bitches stealing our money. No grace for me. We're not going to make it comfortable. In fact, if we can find out where those planes are landing, the ones that are coming up, where these people are living, I'm not going to make it comfortable. We can't make it comfortable. They're stealing our money. They're thieves.
Hey y'all, it's Neo from the Black Wall Street Times. Listen, President Trump's administration welcomed Afrikaner refugees from South Africa today, even as it imposed harsh restrictions on refugees and immigrants from Black and brown countries. That choice sends a clear message about the administration's deeper motives and priorities. It suggests Trump's immigration policy wasn't really about legality or national security. It was about race and culture. White South African farmers, who are often Christian and culturally Western, fit the image by some in the administration, like advisor Stephen Miller. So by portraying Afrikaners as victims of persecution and embracing them while turning away Black and brown migrants, the administration reinforced a racial and cultural hierarchy in its immigration policy. They even gave attention to the unproven idea of white genocide in South Africa, a narrative pushed by far-right groups. Meanwhile, real genocide, like what's happening in Gaza, go ignored. The idea that white people globally are under attack stokes white grievance politics and plays well with Trump's political base. Under Trump, refugee admissions were slashed, families were separated, and asylum seekers of color were left in dangerous conditions. But white South Afrikaners, they were treated differently. Refugee policy should be based on need, not race. But Trump's approach exposed a racially selective agenda that broke from international human rights standards.
Tucker here. So we're about to get hit with a massive heat wave down here in Texas. I'm talking like 105. And there's a group of farmers, I don't know if y'all know this, a group of farmers are suing the USDA because of the Trump administration basically gutted all the climate information. And that could be some things to help forecast heat waves and droughts. So I'm spending my morning out here making sure all the animals have water, that everyone will be all right. Look, farmers need as much information as we can get. We need information such as when is a heat wave coming? When is a drought coming? How is the climate changing? Where are the new rainfall patterns coming? This is information that's very valuable to us, and these fools up in DC are just trying to gut everything, and it's hurting everyone.
In post-apartheid South Africa, some white farmers and Afrikaners claim they are facing racial persecution, land seizures, and violence, and they sought refuge status abroad. A smaller number have applied for asylum in countries like Australia, Canada, and yes, the United States. They describe themselves as victims of racial injustice, but that triggers a very different reaction in America. Some white Americans are saying, why are we giving them asylum when our own people cannot afford healthcare? They had power during apartheid, now they are playing victim. This feels like reverse colonialism. That anger is real and it is loud. But what is fueling it? Many critics point to the double standard in how refugees are treated. When Black or brown refugees from places like Haiti, Syria, or Sudan arrive, they face suspicion, fear, and rejection. But when white South Africans come claiming persecution, suddenly there is empathy, and that does not sit well with everyone. Some Americans, white and non-white, say this exposes racial biases in the US immigration system. For some white Americans, this hits deeper. There is a growing sense among working-class white communities that they are being economically left behind, and that global white elites are replacing them. So when white South Africans, many of whom are educated, skilled, and historically privileged, arrive and get asylum, it seems not as solidarity, but competition. You are not one of us. We did not suffer here. Now you want to take our jobs too. It is tribal, it is emotional, and it is real. There's also a legal and ethical debate. Critics ask, are white South Africans truly being persecuted for being white, or are they facing complex socio-political fallout from a post-apartheid system trying to correct generations of insults? Or are they facing complex social-political fallout from a post-apartheid system trying to correct generations of injustice? This story is not just about South Africans. It is a mirror for America. It exposes the fragility of white identity in a changing global world, the inconsistency in who we believe deserve protection, and the deep divide even among white people between rich and poor, native and foreign, privileged and struggling. So are white Americans angry at white South Africans refugees? Some are, but the reason goes far beyond skin color. It is about class, power, history, and fear. In the end, We have to ask, are we a country that protects the persecuted no matter who they are, or only when their story fits our comfort zone? Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.